The game is the fourth major release in the series, but in reality it is the ninth entry of the famous first-person shooter. Battles are fought in large areas using a wide variety of weapons and vehicles. Battlefield 4 uses version 11.1 of DirectX. That enables it to use various tessellation effects with good measure. Main characters and several objects have smooth curves and decent polygon count. However, that doesn't apply to all objects in the game. Secondary characters, enemies, and lots of inanimate objects have rough edges and appear polygonal. Vehicles too. As a result, the application of tessellation seems to be of mixed results. Several objects have parts that are tessellated and parts that are not. Most prominently, vehicles. Texture resolution is solid, especially on vehicles and characters. There are occasionally some low-res textures here and there, but they are few and far in between. It was shocking to notice the sky in one of the single-player missions appear as simple as a low-resolution 2D picture, in a stark contrast with the rest of the perfectly drawn world. We don't know if this is a bug or a concession on the developer's side, but it's such a shame that a game with the caliber of Battlefield 4 would go down to that level. Lighting is top-notch. Every object is thoroughly lit and colored. All modern effects are present: light bloom, lens flare, god rays, etc. Dynamic lighting is also there, and all explosions and muzzle flashes cast the correct lighting on the surroundings. Even particles appear properly lit. They even act as an independent light sources, interacting with light. Smoke is affected by light too, and change its color accordingly. Shadows in the game are soft and excellent. Dynamic shadows are present with the player's flashlight, as well as enemies and choppers. Sadly, the same can't be said about explosions and muzzle flashes. No shadows are ever cast from them. Shadows affect smoke too. Smoke receives shadows from its surrounding and look differently under shade than under light. Even better, smoke casts shadows on the environment. For example, smoke from explosions casts shadows on the ground underneath. The same with smoke emanating from bullet impact with the asphalt. Even small particles and shrapnels cast shadows too. The effect looks very cool. Battlefield 4 is really the only game to support all of these effects combined. In the past, Battlefield 3 announced it is supporting them, but in reality it underdelivered, and the effects were limited to certain object placements. Although in Battlefield 4, these effects are not found in all cases. There are still many explosions and particles that do not cast shadows. We hope that gets rectified with future releases. Physics engine in the game is superb. A lot of objects can be spectacularly destroyed. Particles and debris are excellent. Fire and smoke look fantastic, aside from a few fire effects that appear to be low resolution. Some smoke effects also suffer color banding, which means they have low resolution too. Vehicles and characters all have smooth animations. Face emotions and lip syncing are very good. Water is the best in the business ever. It has realistic waves and beautiful real-time reflections. It was disappointing to find a lack of water splashes under fire in certain single-player levels. Reflections are generally very good, especially on the surface of water, where they are real-time and dynamic. The rest of the objects have static ones, like car surfaces, glossy materials, and glass. Level of details in the game is medium, especially in multiplayer maps. Even at the Ultra preset, the result is bob-ins and bob-outs of many foliage pieces during fast motion, especially in flying jets. We would have preferred the option to extend the range of details even further, just like Arma 3. We did notice some far texture flickering and some near shadow flickering too, but they were very rare cases. The game is full of post-processing effects, depth of field, motion blur, bloom, tone mapping, etc., and all of them add substantially to the beauty of the graphics. Performance of the game is extremely good, utilizing the GPU to its full potential, though it still lags behind in the CPU front, where it effectively uses 3 cores only and cannot seem to notice hyper-threading technology at all. As for memory, it can easily occupy more than 2 GB of video RAM and more than 3 GB of system RAM. If there is one thing to be said about performance, is that sometimes it's too much. In the campaign, we encountered some scenes that have the frame rates soaring up to the 70s, 80s, even 100s. We would have preferred if these extra frames went into more tessellation, dynamic shadows, or even range of details. At any rate, Battlefield 3 was one of the best games graphically. Heck, it was one of 4 games that have absolutely the best, most powerful graphics ever available. Now with Battlefield 4 out in the world, Battlefield 3 has been replaced. Battlefield 4 is a gorgeous game. Everything in it looks spectacular and attractive. There are some quirks here and there, but they're not enough to distract from this wonderful piece of visual artistry, one that qualifies it to the level of mighty looking games. And for good reasons too.